I see a number of people coming into our clinic with some sort of injury or pain initially, and they've got some issues with how they can function correctly. And so they will often say that, oh, it's chronic. And in this video, I'm going to explain to you what the difference between chronic and acute is. See, chronic is related to a word chronology. So it's when something has happened in time. It's not to do with severity of the problem. Somebody say, oh, it's really chronic today. As a sentence, it doesn't even make sense because, well, it doesn't, because the timing wise, it wouldn't be chronic today. It would be chronic anyway, if that makes sense. So an acute injury tends to be something that's happened pretty much straight away, pretty much now. It's got acute inflammation, it's got acute tension, it's got spasming, it's really, really angry and raw and fiery. And often we'll see people when they come in something like that, for example, and often the pain scales will be quite high. They might be like 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, really, or maybe actually, to be fair, the real acute ones say they're about 50 out of 10, which is, you know that's really acute. With chronic, they tend to say they're about between 2 to 3 out of 10, maybe 3 to 4 out of 10. And a pattern between acute and chronic tends to be that, oh my gosh, it was really painful. And then what happens is that actually, you know, after a couple of days, it felt a little bit easier. And then, oh, I can barely feel it. I can live with it. It's about 1 out of 10. Now that's the worst case if you've gone from an acute to a chronic. And that really concerns me when people do that, because they go, oh yeah, I can live with it, only for it to at some point in the future to kind of flare up again, and they're bouncing between these two, going back and forth. And then they'll say, oh, I've tried this, I've tried that, I've tried this, I've tried that, and nothing's worked. And that's because no one's actually broken that cycle between acute and chronic. See, it kind of goes like this. You go from acute to chronic, then it goes from a chronic to an acute flare up, and it goes round and round and round and round. How do I know this? Well, one, because I've got years of experience, but two, the pattern that I've noticed happens is that, let's say, for example, somebody coming in with, let's say they said, okay, do you know what, all I did was I went over to lean for something, and I've been doing that for years and I've not had any problems, but it might be a little bit tight or whatever, but this time it pinged off. Or would everybody who's in that same age group, and you can make up an idea of anyone, because I'm not going to target any particular age group because it doesn't matter, any particular gender, any particular lifestyle choice, it doesn't matter which of those options you have. If you pick anyone, if they just lean forward, they're not going to have that same injury. So it tells me there's a chronic underlying problem occurring and having an acute flare-up of that. If they don't get the help they need, then they'll just basically go back to going, oh, okay, you can go back to chronic. And that's because we have a defense mechanism within our bodies. It goes back to prehistoric times, when if you injured yourself out in the wild, you don't want to be worried about the pain if you need to be sprinting away from a predator or running towards something that you need to get hold of. You wouldn't be able to function still correctly and survive ultimately. And that's why our body does dull down the pain levels and changes how we perceive pain or any acute symptoms, and it dulls it down to become chronic. So actually what happens is most conditions, if not all, have some sort of chronic underlying to them anyway, because no two people are the same in the world, okay? So if everyone's got a different birth, a different development, different genetics. So if you add all those multifactorial levels into somebody's case history, which is what we do, we pinpoint and find the exact source of the problem. And then you know that, okay, well, you've just had potentially an acute flare-up of what's a chronic condition. And when you go through that, and there's so many studies showing this, and when you apply the research that we've done here and had great results, this explains exactly how that works, and you get basically clear out not only the acute problems but the chronic stuff as well. I hope you found this useful. Please remember to share this with your loved ones, share it across all of your social media channels, and even like and subscribe, and I really appreciate your time. Thank you.